Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signore. We had an awesome live show. I'm back with Steph, the alternate, and Kim, a Britney superfan and part of our community. We wanted to give you a bonus episode because earlier today, I saw a lot of you sharing this to me. Britney put together a post really critical of her mom. Now, she's since edited the text, as she often does, but here on Popcorn Planet, we screenshot every Britney and Kanye post, to be fair. Here was the post. Who is your hero, Dad? Why do you consider this person your hero? He is brave. Is there anyone your hero is frightened of? Mom. And then Britney proceeded to write this. This is the day I realized my mom should have scared my dad in life, or possibly just attempted to care. Psst, I've learned to be like her. I don't know. That way you're sweet. Daddy's never scared, right, Ma? Psst, when mom plays their daughters. LOL. Rose. Geez, my whole life, if you look up, you can see a child wrote this. She's talking about this. Only the child knows, because I assume that is children always know more than parents realize. Psst, and what the child said is the way it should be. Look, there was a lot of speculation and a lot of Britney detective work started on this. I'm going to share quickly the way I thought of this, and I want to get each of your perceptions. It really does seem that she's dragging her mom in a way, because I do believe she loved, whether she still does. I mean, it's her mom. It's hard to not just completely stop loving your mom, right? But given how much she loved her mom, I think she's currently realizing how much more involved her mom actually was in things. And the big question, I even have it up there, is like, who really was pulling the strings? Who was more evil? I do believe Jamie was scared of Lynne. I believe that was sort of the one person that probably could have gotten some things done or said things, but she sort of refused. But it's complicated also because Lynne was in a relationship with Jamie that was, I want to use the word troubled. It was dangerous for Lynne as to walk around it carefully. Jamie wasn't nice to her. Allegedly, right? We have through the book and other accusations that Jamie was, not a good husband, that makes things more complicated as well. That she may have been constantly living in her own fears and worries and just trying to play along to avoid more of that. You know what I mean? But then you go back and you realize, as we go through it, and I know Kim, you have some more, but you go through and you realize that there are allegations out there that Sam Lutfi made that it was actually Lynne, the mom, who was crushing up pills and spiking Britney's drinks to get her to rehab. And her own cousin, Allie, confirmed this on Instagram on a post. Who really was actually behind it? We have also another post that Kim reminded me and pulled up that sort of basically implies that it was her mom's idea all along. That sort of put the conservator. My mom is the one who gave him the idea, talking about the conservatorship here 13 years ago. I will never get those years back. She ruined my life. And yes, I will call her and Lou Taylor out on it. So she's not, everyone sort of assumes it was Jamie controlling things, but you got to go remember, Britney did even call out her own mom, saying that no, she was responsible. It was her idea with Lou, who then sort of seemed to be jockeying for attention and of Jamie. So this post, I think there's a lot more of this post probably than we even realize, but I see this as her clearly coming to terms. This is the day that she's really facing the truth about her mom, and it's just so depressing to read. I want to go to both of you to get your thoughts, but I'm going to go to you first, Kim, because I know you've been prepping and thinking about this for a while, and you're a long-term Britney super fan. You even have a clip to sort of share. How do you take this comment? What is your deduction of this?
I think it's Britney calling out her mom for enabling for years what went on in her home. I mean, obviously this is like speculation from me. I don't know these people, but it's been so well documented that Big Jamie has had so many issues with alcohol and has been abusive in the past from what we've heard. I mean, even Jamie Lynn herself said that her dad's drunken episodes created, times of sorrow for her. Forgive me, I don't have the exact quote because I don't memorize things that Jamie Lynn says to protect my own mind. But
fair enough.
But there does come a point sometimes where, yes, Lynn was in a difficult situation, and I don't want to judge her too harshly because it's hard, but she had so many opportunities, I think, to put her kids first, and she's chosen not to. And then when you look at the allegations of her potentially drugging Britney, etc. It's just such a huge betrayal. And I sense those feelings when I read Britney's post today, that she is coming to terms with the betrayal from her mother.
Steph, what do you think?
My opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, she's calling her mum out, and she's accusing her mum of gaslighting her into believing that, you know, her dad's the hero because he's so brave, this, that, and the other, when in actual fact, my opinion, he's just as much of a villain as the mother is, and she's calling her mum out. Saying you shouldn't have gaslit me into believing that my father was the hero because he's so brave, this, that, and the other. Because guess what? He turned into a right POS, didn't he? Dumbass. You know? So, yeah, I think there's an element of that, to be fair, where I think she's also calling out on her mum. But, yeah, we'll see. It's telling that at this stage, just before we started rolling, that she's not deleted the post, but she's deleted the spiel. This whole bit now's gone. She's deleted it all. I wonder why. Maybe we'll find out, maybe we won't. But yeah, on top of everything that I agree with Kim, I think there's that element as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you had pulled this clip. Here it is, sort of an older clip from 2004, and this was sort of a common thing, right, Kim, where Britney would get emotional when talking about her mother?
Mm-hmm. Very much so. There's multiple interviews that she's done where she's been asked about Lynne, and she says, you know, she's my hero, or I want to be exactly like her. And she gets emotional and she starts crying. And it seems that she misses her family. It seems that she misses her mom. And just you can tell how important family is to her by the way she talks about it.
I mean, she's made that clear. She's always wanted a family. It's part of the heartbreaking part of this whole story. But
Cry with you. She's a good one, huh? Yeah.
Talking about her mom.
Special. She got a good daughter. Yep. She got a good daughter. Yeah. My mom gets me through everything too, so you can just make me cry with you. She's a good one, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Special.
Yeah, there's something about this when I watch it now that, Kim, your sort of take was she misses her mom, but immediately Steph and I now, after seeing the post and everything else that's going through, like, is there a more sinister thing here of like, does she realize the truth about her mom? Granted, this was 2004 before things got worse, but still, it's clearly a complicated relationship, so it's hard to put that much more weight in it. But, look, Britney doesn't like, from what we've gathered, she also just hates crying and showing emotion like this. So that could be why the face sort of seems more angry in her crying about it. But so, Kim, you think this is clear, this missing the mother. Steph, you disagree? Go ahead. Kim, start.
I do believe that during that time frame, I think through a lot of Britney's life, she's been very protective of her mom. She's been very protective of her sister and of Brian. I mean, we talk about the one part that Britney has called out in Jamie Lynn's book, where she is like, what was wrong with me offering to get mom a house when I told her to get out of the marriage with Jamie? You know, like, Britney was willing to do whatever it took and give everything that she could to protect her family, hands down, all the time. Obviously, I think that has changed through the conservatorship. Because, like, even one of the things I remember, there was a diary entry that she did just before the conservatorship where she talked about that she was realizing that people were using her. She'd like go out to dinner and then she'd be left with the bill every single time and was like, okay, I guess people are just using me. And I think she reached that point where she realized that about her family as well.
Steph, your take?
So my take is, Sam Lutfi has gone on record with his social media state that at the end of the day, Britney's relationship with her mother was highly strained, to the point where she didn't want her around. She didn't want her mother around. It was not a typical daughter and mother relationship. Lynne wasn't a mother and didn't have that close motherly bond and affection for Britney, and vice versa. So really, I think that she was crying there because you've got the interviewer turning around and saying, oh, my mum helps me through things, this, that, and the other. And Britney's crying, in my opinion, with the fact that my mum don't do that. And it cuts deep when she hears someone else talk about their mother in a way that she wishes she could, if that makes sense. We also know as well from Britney herself, you know, in previous Instagrams, where she's turned around and she's essentially said, you are more of a caring mother to Jamie Lynn than you were to me. You were giving her milkshakes or whatever the drink she quoted at the time. You were so motherly, so caring to her. Where the hell were you for me? Where was that mother for me? Where was that caringness for me? Before she even, you know, the conservatorship even started, you know, she didn't, again, it's on record from Sam, she didn't want her mum around. And, you know, they attempted it at one point. Mum came around, Jamie Lynn, what happened? Because they staged it all because it was on TMZ, did an article on it, or, oh, look, you know, Britney Spears with her mum and this, that, and the other, everything's well, blah, blah, blah. Actually, no, behind the scenes, she couldn't stand being around her mum and she wanted them gone because whenever they were there, it caused so much more animosity and so much more trouble that Britney just didn't want. She thought it was better just keeping them arm's length, and that was it. And she was better off that way and happier that way to do so. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, plus, speaking of Sam, when I was Googling for the image, I forgot, like, Sam also recently acknowledged, I don't know why he would lie about this. He's been through too many lawsuits to share this screenshot and be faking it, but admitted that Lynne called him. This was recently. This was, last October. As things were going, Lynne tried calling me right now around midnight. Usually I would not tell anyone, just listen to her cries for help. But times have changed, baby. You ruined my life and your daughter's life. And then you wrote a book to cash in. I sued, I won, and the publisher even pulled the books off the shelf. Do not come to me for help ever again. You owe both me and her massive apologies, not to mention the family of the little boy you killed. I'm not even forgiving you. I'm not ever forgiving you for what you did. You can take it up with God, yourself, repent, and go get a job. Jesus. But I mean, that's the shade there, because Lynne tried to blame it all on Sam. And look, I wasn't there, but it does sort of seem like Sam was not the problem. Who knows if Sam was perfect, but none of us are. And it does seem like, obviously, as we've seen things progress, Lynne was the one who was really hiding things and blaming Sam for the drugging of things, etc. When in reality, as we look around, all things point to Lynne. So again, it comes down to like, when I see this, I think we're all sort of sharing the same feelings. When I do see this, it makes me sad, because it really does feel like she's coming to terms with the reality that her own mother can't be trusted and really was more involved than I think she ever thought it was. And those crying clips now are even more heartbreaking, realizing how much she loved her and how much it seems, allegedly, that Lynne used her and just didn't ever try to protect her. It's just so sad as we see all this and what it is. And she could have fixed things so many times and chose not to. And then that just begs the question as we wrap up this video, and I'm curious what you guys think in the comments, who is worse at the end of the day? I think we put so much attention on Jamie. It's so easy to go after Big Jamie because, you know, he's the one who's there. But are we maybe misdirecting the real anger, which should go towards Lynne, who should have even known better and maybe even was fueling Big Jamie to sort of do all these big dumb moves, while Lynne could sort of play, I'm not involved, all these things that she's sort of saying here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. What do you think? I want to go quickly to each of you. Steph, who do you blame more, mom or dad in this situation?
I blame them both equally. They were both toxic and insidious at the same level, just in different ways. I don't think that you could have one without the other in regards to this conservatorship starting. Big Jamie couldn't have done it on his own. Lynne couldn't have done it on her own. It needed to be a coordinated effort for this conservatorship to start with the both of them. And so, yeah, I blame them both equally. Both equally.
I mean, you make a very good point, because they got together. Yeah. They united after all the troubles they were with to get her in this. Lynne should have known better. Lynne should have known that her aggressor, right? This guy that she's divorced, tried to get away from, shouldn't be in control of her daughter's finances. So there's a lot more, I think, and I gotta say, it's at least encouraging that Britney is seeing this, right, and putting out there there's still a bunch of people who think Britney's not in control of her Instagram and that Team Khan's still running it all. Like, I don't know why you guys think that. It's so clear that these are pleas for help and things, and I don't know, it just really does feel like, why would Team Khan write this? This is a complete knock on her mom. Kim, to wrap up, what are your thoughts?
Like Steph, I blame them both. This is why I am so excited for her book, because I feel like everybody else has got to say everything they want to say except Britney. And it's time for the truth, not her truth, the truth to come out. And I'm so ready for it.
Yeah, and an Us Magazine source, who knows if this is true, I'm just saying, but Britney feels extremely betrayed by her sister. We know that's true. And now apparently will hold nothing back in the new memoir. And this makes sense. If anything, Jamie Lynn inspired her to call her out more directly, which is something Britney would have never done had that book come out. So in a weird way, I'm kind of grateful for Jamie Lynn's book, because it's going to just be the kick in the ass that Britney needed to stop being so nice to these crooks. You know what I mean? So I hope this is true, but that's the quote. She's going to hold nothing back in this memoir. Britney feels extremely betrayed, as she has expressed publicly. She will lay out that without her, Jamie Lynn would have no career. I mean, that's just a plain fact. So it's just so sad that her whole family is just fighting her on all these things. Good conversation, and I always appreciate a good Britney Graham, because we can all get in there as our own detectives, and she knows it at this point, and she's almost like wants it out for the hardcore fans. I feel like, all right, it's there. Take it as you will. Gather the intel as you can, because she knows her Britney army will take it, digest it, and help as best they can. So what do you guys think of all this? Tell us in the comments down below. Make sure you go support Steph, the Alternerd, down below. And Kim, thanks for being here. You Britney stan. Proud to be. We all are at this point. Appreciate you guys being here and talking about this. Let us know what you think in the comments. Before you do, though, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, and that big thumbs up if you like this. Heck, you can dislike it, dislike it all you want. It all does the same. We're just trying to get engagement here, so help spread the video, engage with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back with more tomorrow and every day here on Popcorn Planet.